Everyone, and welcome to today's event. I'm Laura Dillon with MS Dynamics World, and we're here today for a session on territory management, optimized routing, appointment scheduling, and so much more within Dynamics 365 CRM. Our presenter today is Sushma Mohidlal with iNogic, and it's my pleasure to welcome her here with us today. So as we get started, please know that we do welcome your questions. You can type those in at any time during her presentation in the little chat box that you'll see in your GoToWebinar interface. And someone from the iNogic team will be getting back to you individually after the session. So without any further delay, Sushma, I'm going to hand things off to you to get us started.
Thanks, Laura. Thanks for the introduction. Hello, everyone. This is Sushma, Business Manager at iNogic, and today I'll be presenting to you our flagship product, Maplytics. Maplytics is a locational intelligence tool that can be used within the Dynamic CRM to visualize your Dynamic CRM entities on the map. Before we dive into the session, let me give you a quick brief about iNogic. So iNogic is a leading service provider in an ISV. We have been into the business for more than a decade now, and our blogs are also well known among the CRM community. Apart from Maplytics, we also have been focusing on building productivity apps which reduce multiple steps in CRM with one-click solutions. You can see a few of our offerings listed on the slide over here. Besides developing apps, we are also a system integrator and we assist our partners and customers with offshore development services. If you would like to discuss any requirements for the same, you can contact us at crm@inogic.com. Let's move on to Maplytics, and I'll be giving a live demonstration of the Maplytics features, which will also include the latest features that we have added to our latest release, January 2022. So Maplytics is a geolocational intelligence tool that will help you to visualize your dynamic CRM entities and get a geographical insights for your CRM data. It is natively built inside the CRM, so everything runs within the CRM and no data is hosted outside the CRM. We have been focusing on various business scenarios of different industries in order to help our customers complete their tasks easily and quickly with all of our features. So let's have a look on today's agenda for the webinar. We'll start with a quick overview of the features to be covered, and lately we'll be getting the live demonstrations of the same. So these are the features that I have listed for today's webinar. So I'll start with the quick basics of how to get the data plotted on the map. And if you have a lot of addresses saved into the CRM records, we'll also be seeing the feature of multi-address plotting. Using this, you'll be able to plot the data which has multiple addresses saved into the CRM. Next, we'll be seeing the categorization. So this feature will help you to visualize the color-coded push pins based on various attributes. This will be followed by the proximity search feature. Using this, you'll be able to search for the nearby records around a selected locations. After that, we'll be seeing how the salespeople who are out on the field will be using the route optimization feature to plan their routes and modify their routes, search for the POI locations, and check in and check out for the meetings. Later, we'll be seeing the auto scheduling feature. So this feature is an optimized scheduling feature which will be helping you to schedule automatically for your sales rep based on the availability of the sales rep. And the last three features will be real-time tracking, territory management, and PCF detail map control. So real-time tracking will help you to track your locations of the sales reps into real time along with their routes that they have traveled into the past. Territory management will include the plotting and creating of the territories automatically based on the count of records, and it will also include the comparison of the census data with the territories. And lastly, detail map control will help you to perform so many Maplytics actions into the map right within the CRM dataset page without switching to any other map pages. And you can also use the feature of multi-search layer to perform multiple search into the single map. So let's start with the live demonstration of the Maplytics features. So after you have imported the Maplytics solution into your dynamic CRM, you can just go to any of the entities and you can see the two map buttons, detail map and the heat map on the ribbon bar. So here I am into the detail map, and this will give me the plot records card. So this plot records card basically gives you so many options to perform the search criteria. So here you can choose how do you want to plot the data on the map. So for example, you have several options like by location, by region, by drawing, by territory, and by template. So I'll be explaining this in a while. This is for a feature of proximity search. This is also a part of our webinar. So I'll be explaining this in a while. Now here, this is the list of the entities that you have in your CRM. So you can also plot your custom entities as well. So here, for example, I'm choosing accounts. Now here you will be getting the list of the views that you have in your CRM. So you'll be getting the personal views, the system views, the dashboards, and the marketing list. Okay, let's say I'll choose one of the personal views over here, and I'll click on search. So as it was a by location search, this will plot the data based on the addresses it has into the records. So here, if you have added any image to the record, you'll also be able to see the image of the record on the hover and the click as well. So you'll be seeing so many details on the hover, and this is called the tooltip card. Right. So this is configurable. You can also choose to add some more data on the hover and the tooltip card. Now, whatever data that you have plotted on the map is also available within this view data grid. So you can see, you can just put in some value over here. You can filter your data, or you can simply click on the column header in order to sort your data. Now here you have so many mass actions that you can perform on the data that you have plotted on the map. Like for example, if you want to export this data as an Excel file or save this data as a marketing list, you can do all of that with these mass actions. Now let's move ahead to the next feature that we have on the list, which is the multi-address plotting. So here you can see there's an icon over here. So if I click on this, here it will give me the options to select multiple addresses. So basically within my settings, if I go to the entity map, I have saved these addresses of shipping address and billing address within the entity map of the accounts. So once you save the multiple addresses there, you will be getting the options to select those addresses over here. Right. So I've selected both of the addresses, and now it will plot the data based on the two addresses that it has saved into the CRM. So here you can see that the push pins are now plotted into two different colors, and within the view data grid you can see the two addresses, billing address and shipping address. Right. So this is how you will be able to see the data if they have presence into various locations like various countries, various cities or counties. So you will be able to plot the data into multiple locations all together into the single map. And within the layer menu, you are also able to see the two layers over here. So you can also choose to toggle between the two layers if you want to focus only on one address. Right. So next feature we have on the list is the categorization. So let's say you want to categorize, basically color code the records based on any attribute like customer type, any classification or last visited date. So you can do that. So here you can see the list of attributes over here. These are nothing but the fields that you have into your entity. So let's say I'll choose industry over here. Okay, so I'll just choose this and I'll click on search. So here you can see that this will plot the data based on the categorization of industry. And now you can see the push pins are into different colors and type of push pins. So this category card will help you to read the push pins, which push pin belongs to which category. Right. So here you can understand which push pin belongs to which category, and you can also change the push pins right from here. So here I can choose the push pins right from the card, and I can also choose the color for the push pins. Now let's say I'm very comfortable with the set of the push pins and the colors that I have selected over here. So what I can do, I can select this, I can choose this button for the save, and I can save this selection of the colors and push pins for my future use. So basically every respective Maplytics users can choose their selected configuration of the colors and the push pins for their future use as well. Right. Now let's say I want to search for the nearby records. Let's say I want to host an event at some location and I want to search for all of the records that are nearby, all of the customers that are nearby. Or let's say I'm opening a new store at this particular location and I want to search how many people are there within the surrounding. So I can just right click anywhere and I can just select it as current location. So let's say this is the new stores location or this is the events location where I want to search for the nearby records. So we are now using the proximity search to search for the nearby records. So I have chosen this current location and now I'll just put some values for the radii. So here I have put 3 radii in and it also accepts decimals up to 2 places. So if I click on search, this will give me the 3 proximity circles based on the 3 radii that I have entered. So here you can see I can also click on the circles to get the summary card. Right. So here you can see because we had plotted the data based on 2 addresses, you can also see the classification of the count of records that belong to billing address and the shipping address. Right. And this also gives you the summary card based on any numerical value that you have set into the settings. So this is the proximity search. Now here, if you hover on the push pins, you can click on the push pins to see this data of line of sight distance. So this line of sight distance is the straight line distance from the current location. Right. So this is how, based on just looking at that, based on the line of sight distance, you'll be able to understand which customer is near or far from your current location. So now that you have got the list, you can simply go for mass actions. You can choose to save this data as a marketing list or a personal view, or let's say if I want to invite all of these people to this particular location, I can send a mass email to all of the records that I have plotted on the map. So I can just use a new email template or I can just choose an existing template, and I can also choose whether I want my recipients to be in 2CC or BCC, and I can send a mass email to all of these records. So this is how I can search for the records that are nearby any particular location, and I can save that data or I can further drill down into that particular data. Now let's say I am a salesperson and I'm on the field, right? So I want to plan a route for myself. So I want to search for all of the records, the customers that are existing nearby. So obviously this proximity search is again very helpful to search for the nearby customers. I can check the line of sight distance to see which of the customers and are near or far from my current location. But if I want to travel to these particular customers, the straight line distance won't be the practical distance that I'll be traveling. So which is why this option has been given. I can click on the show travel distance option and click on search. So this will now calculate the individual shortest travel distance from the current location to each of the push pins. And now it will give you 2 distances, the line of sight distance and the shortest travel distance for each of the push pins. So here now, if I hover on the push pins or if I click on the push pins, here you'll be getting the 2 distances, right? So just by looking at these shortest travel distance or the line of sight distance, I'll be able to understand which push pin is near or far in terms of traveling to that particular push pin, right? So this is how I'll be getting all of the list of the customers that are nearby, and now I can just select the customers that I want to go and meet. I can just right click on the customers and I can add them to the route. So here you can notice I had added only one customer to the route, but 2 more waypoints have appeared by itself. The reason for this is that within the settings, if I go for Maplytics app and then settings and then Maplytics configuration detail record, I can go to the logged in users record, and within this, there's a place where every Maplytics user can choose their default locations for the origin and destination. So this is not compulsory. However, this is very useful while the salespeople have the constant locations to start and end their journey. For example, office and home. Right. So office and home becomes a constant location. So they can choose office to be their default location for a region and home to be the default location for the destination. So this is how it becomes very useful. While the salesperson tries to create a route, these details get fetched from the settings over here. Now, moving ahead, I'll just right click on more records and I can just select them to the route. So I can just right click and add some records to the route like this. Okay, so I have added some records to the route, and here I have some options over here. So these are the options that can be selected in order to get the route planned. So I can choose the unit, I can choose whether I want to optimize my direction based on shortest time or shortest distance, if I want to avoid highways, avoid toll roads, or if I want to see the traffic on the map or not. Right. So these options can be selected and I can click on go. So this will give me an optimized route based on the selection of the customers that I have added to the route. So here you can see the route has been given, and now you can understand that this A and G points are the origin and destination which was default. So this is the route that I have got. Okay, and now I can just save this route as well using the save button. So I can just click on save. I can save it to the existing route as well to update an old route, or I can just create a new route. I can just give the details. I can select the date. I can select myself, or I can select my colleague as well. Right. So this is how you can create a route and then save the route. So all of the routes that get created using Maplytics will be saved under the route entity. So once the salespeople have created the route for themselves, or let's say the sales manager have created the routes for the sales team, they can just come up to the route entity over here and they can just see these route records. So they can just open the route that they have been given and they will be able to see the further details over here. They'll be able to see who has been assigned to them and which routes have been assigned to them. They can open the route, they can see further details over here, which of the customers that they have to go and meet, and how much distance and time they have to go and travel on the field. Right. So here they have this plot route button, which makes it so easy. You just open the route and plot the route on the map. So this is how they can just access the routes on the map and they can further navigate themselves for the turn by turn directions on the map. So this is how they can plot the route, and while they have the route plotted on the map, they have this navigation button. Right, so they can navigate themselves and this will allow them to see the complete route, or they can go for the individual parts of the route like A to B, B to C, like that. So by default, it will take you to the Google Maps. However, we also support another app which is called the Waze app, WAZE. So every Maplytics user has the option to select a preference of the navigation app. Right. So this is how they can navigate themselves for the turn by turn directions on the map. They can also send this route detail as an email to another user as well if they want. Right. So this is how they can plan the route, they can save the route, and they can plot the route on the map. Now, while the salespeople are traveling on the route and following some route, meeting the clients, one of the most important thing here is that they need to change, modify their routes based on the situations they face. Right. For example, any meetings got cancelled, any meetings got finished earlier, they have some spare time to spend on another extra meeting. They can do that. So for that, they anytime they can just use this proximity search feature to select their to see the nearby records, nearby customers around their current location. Now here you can notice that I have selected this current location manually. However, if you are using Maplytics into the mobile or the tablet, there's an additional button at the right hand side which is called the locate me button. If you click on that, it will fetch the current GPS location of your device as well. So basically, using this proximity search feature within Maplytics, you will be able to search for the nearby records around your current GPS location as well. So here, while you have got the results, you can click on the push pins. You can see which of the push pins is near or far. You can see the details. You can use the phone function. You can call the person, and if they are available for a meeting, you can just add an extra record to the route, and this will give you an updated route based on the additional record that you have just added to the route. Right. So this is how, using the proximity search, you will be able to see more records within the surroundings and update your route with the additional meeting. Now here, apart from this proximity search, we also have the feature of along the route search. right? So let me just remove this proximity in order to see all of the records that are within this view. So the feature of along the route search, as the name suggests, it will give you the records that lie along the route. So here within the direction card, if I select this, you can see the records have now been filtered based on their directions from 0.5 miles of distance from the route. Right. So this is how, using this along the route feature, the salesperson, while they are on the field, they will be able to see which of the customers are near to the route, and they will be able to click on the customers. They will be able to see the distance, the detail of the customers. They can call the person, and they can check whether they are available for a meeting or not. Right. So here, this is how they can search for the nearby records and further add an extra appointment to the add an extra record to the route. Now here you can also see several tooltip card actions. So these are the actions that you can perform on the respective pushpin. So here, let's say if you want to create a task, create a phone call, let's say if you want to create an appointment, you can do that. Or let's say if you want to update a certain value into the CRM record. So you can click on the open record option, and right from here you open the CRM record, add the value, save it, and come back to the map page, even within the mobile or the tablets as well. Right. So this is how you can make the changes while you are on the field. Now, apart from this, we also have a feature of POI, the point of interest locations. Let's say the salesperson wants to grab a bite while they are on the field, or let's say they want to create an appointment at certain other place instead of the office. They can do that. So anywhere on the map while they are on the field, they can just select the required location and set it as POI location. So here you can see within the POI card, there are so many icons over here: the hotels, restaurants, attractions, the airports, etc. Okay, so let's say the salesperson wants to grab a bite, they can just click on restaurants, and it will give you the list of the restaurants that are existing nearby, right? So this is how they will be able to click on the restaurants, and they will be able to see further details about that particular restaurant as well. And now let's say they want to schedule a meeting at some cafe, so they can just click on the cafe icon, and this will give you all of the details of the cafe that are nearby. They can just click on the cafe. They can also in fact add this to the route. So this is how they can add a location of cafe within the route. Now here, if you click on other option, you'll be getting a whole list of locations that are available. Right. Let's say you are not able to search for the locations that are available within this list. You can just type in a keyword as well to search for the respective location. Right. So this is how you will be able to search for the required location within required point of interest locations within the locations nearby. Right. So this is how you will be able to see the icons. You can also click on the icons to see further details. Now let's say if in case these point of interest locations become a prospect for your company. So in that case, what you can do is that you can right click on the POI location, and you'll be able to create it as a new record as well. Right. So here you go. Your POI location is now becomes a record into your CRM. So this is how you can save your point of interest locations on the CRM as well. So this is how you will be able to search for the records, then POI location records, and you can modify your routes. And once you have to make the changes to the route, you can just come up to the save button and use the add to existing route. Select the route that you had earlier planned, and this will update the latest changes that you have added to the route. Right. So after this, while the sales people are on the field and they are meeting certain clients, if the managers want them to check in and check out for the meetings that they have been attending, they can also do that. So here, the salesperson can simply click on the push pins of the customer they have been going for the meeting, and here they have this button for check-in. Right. So here, if you click on this, this will ask them for the location, and here you can see there's also an option to enter the notes. So here I can just put in some notes or the minutes of meeting, and I can just put an attachment as well. Right. So whatever the salesperson wants to remember for the respective customers, they can just type it into here, and they can also select an attachment. So this notes and the attachments will be saved under the respective record that they have been checking in against to it. All right. So this is how you can check in and check out, and you can also save the notes and the attachments while checking in and check out. So this is how Maplytics helps the salesperson while they are out on the field. They can plan a route for themselves. They can make ad hoc changes to the route based on situations that they are facing, and they can further modify the route, save the route, and further use the turn by turn navigations to get the proper directions. Right. So apart from this route planning, we also have a feature of automated scheduling. So this auto scheduling feature will help the managers to create a schedule automatically for their sales team. Right. So here let me quickly plot some records of the clients, and now let's say these are my clients that I want my sales team to go and meet. Right. So here I can just go for the mass actions, and here I have this button for auto scheduling. So if I click on this, this will consider all of the records that I have plotted on the map, and here I am into this the auto scheduling card. So this auto scheduling card will give you so many preferences that you can select to consider while creating the schedule. Right. So here you can select the schedule start date, when to start the schedule. You can select the salesperson as well. So if you are into the field service, you will be selecting the resources there. Now here you can select the period. So for example, if you want to create the schedule for more than a day, so you can do that. You can choose the days or into which the schedule should be made. And here you can select the individual time duration, the start time, end time, break duration within the day, and the buffer time in order to make sure that the salesperson is on time for the meeting. And here you can choose the working days for your salespeople. Now here there's an additional option of consider existing meetings. So what does it mean? If there are any existing appointments or the bookable resource bookings in terms of field service, if there are existing meetings already created for the selected sales reps or the resources, those existing meetings will also get considered. So for example, Joe Smith has a meeting on Monday 3 p.m. So this auto scheduling will not create an appointment for Monday 3 p.m. because Joe Smith already has an appointment then. Right. So this is how it will consider the availability of the sales reps that you have chosen. Now within this advanced preferences, you'll be getting some more details about the users and the meetings. So here you can see the list of the users that I have, the sales rep that I have chosen, and these are the default locations of the origin and destination that they have chosen into their settings. So that you can surely change this as well. Right. Now here you can choose how many meetings you have to set for the sales rep. So let's say I want my sales rep to meet 5 clients a day. And now I'll be explaining this in a while. Now here you have the list of the meetings over here, right? So these are nothing but the records that I just plotted a few minutes ago. You can just put a value to filter your records. You can also just deselect any record if you do not want to consider that. And you can also change the meeting duration as well, right? Now here you will be able to see the existing meetings. So like you saw earlier, this option of consider existing meetings, if there are any existing appointments already created for the selected sales reps, those appointments will also get saved, listed over here. So these will also get considered while you are creating the schedule. Now, what does it mean by reschedule existing meetings? So it means that if it's okay to make any changes to the respective existing meetings, so you can just select it as yes. So changes as in making the changes to the date and time or the owner of the meetings. Or if it's not okay to make any changes, you can just keep it as no. Right. And now what is continuous schedule? So continuous schedule is basically used while you are creating the plan for more than a day. For example, the salesperson starts his first day from the postal code 10307, and by the end of the first day, the person reaches up to 10308 postal code. Now, to start the second day, instead of going back to the origin of the first day, the person can simply start the second day using the destination of the first day. So this is what we call to be a continuous schedule. So you can just keep it as yes, or you can just keep it as no in case your salesperson has to go back to the origin. For example, going back to the office to report all of the activities they have performed within the day. Right. So all of these preferences you can just choose within the card, and let's keep it simple. I'll just deselect this option and I'll click on proceed. So here this will consider all of the preferences that you have selected into this card, and if you have selected the consider existing meetings, it will also consider the availability of the sales rep based on the existing meetings, and it will give you the optimized schedule for the sales rep that you have chosen over here, in order to make sure that the sales rep travels the least amount of time on the map. Now here you can see the two colors of the routes. So these two colors are for the two different salespeople. You can also choose the individual salespeople over here, salesperson over here, and you can see the respective details of the routes within the view data grid. You can also see the how many days it has been scheduled for. You can also click on next to get the schedule for the next day. So these routes and the appointments that you have just scheduled, these have not been saved yet, right? So to save it, you can just click on create activities. Here you can select the appointments, service activities, and bookable resource bookings in terms of field service. So you can select the appointments, you can give the details, create, click on create route, and click on create. So what this will do, it will save all of these routes and the appointments that you have just scheduled within the activities. So the salesperson, after the sales manager has created the schedule for the sales team can just go to the activities or the route entity to see all of the appointments and the routes that the sales manager has been assigned to them, and they can just plot that into the map, and they can further navigate themselves for the turn by turn directions. Right. So this is how the sales manager would be using the auto scheduling feature to create a schedule automatically for their salespeople. Now, most of the companies have the whole team of sales team, right, or the service team. So while they have the sales team and the service team, they can also assign a certain area to the teams so that they can be responsible for a set of clients. So to assign that area, you can use this feature of territory management to create territories for your teams. Right. So we have several options over here using which you will be able to plot the areas on the map and then create the territories out of it. So here you can just select, let's say I'll go for by file option, and here you will be able to see you can just browse a file that contains the areas into the region that you want to create the territories out of it. Right. So here I'll select this particular region, the file, and here this is an Excel file that I have chosen. So this Excel file contains the postal codes within the Staten Island. So here I can just guide Maplytics how to plot the region on the map. So here I'll just choose the columns into the Excel file, and this will plot the respective regions on the map. So here I have got the regions plotted on the map, and now I can simply select these regions and I can right click to create a territory out of it. Right. So here I can create a new territory, or I can just add this particular postal code to an existing territory as well. Right. Or I can just choose multi-select option to select a lot of postal codes all together to create a single territory. So I can just do these things while I have plotted a file on the map. Right. Apart from this, we also have a feature of the automatic territory creation. So here, let me just plot some records. So this automatic territory creation basically helps you to create territories automatically based on the count of records. So here you can see the count of records. The records have been plotted on the map. Now, let's say I want to create 3 territories out of the balanced distribution of the records that I have plotted on the map. Right. So here I have chosen the regions out of which I want to create the territories. And here I can just select the selected region. I can right click on the selected region and I can click on create territory. And here I have got the option of multiple territory. So here you can just choose 3, let's say, and I can click on proceed. So this will distribute these records into 3 different parts, and you can see 3 different territories have been given, right? So here you can just change the name of the territory over here. If you want to choose a certain user for to be a territory manager for these territories, you can do that right from the card as well. And you can change the color for the territories right from the card as well, right? So now let's say these are territories, you're okay with these territories. You have several options over here. So you can just create these territories. So if you click on confirm, these territories will get created as records within the CRM. And after it will get created into the CRM, it will also ask you whether you want to assign these territories to the respective records or not. So just within a few clicks, you are able to distribute your records into balanced manner into the number of territories that you want. In fact, it will also assign the territories to the respective records as well. Right. So this becomes so easy to create territories automatically and also assign those territories to the respective records. Now, the second option here is the save as draft. Let's say you want to work for some more time on this particular territory management, and here you can just save this as a draft territory. So you can just save this as a draft territory, and after some time you can plot the draft territory on the map, and you can pick up your work right from you left earlier. Now the last option here is the realignment. So what does it mean by realigning? Let's say I do not want 3 territories, instead I want 4 territories, right? So here if I click on proceed, now it will distribute into 4 different parts, right? So here you can see 4 territories have been given. So I can again change the name, select manager, and change the color. And now let's say these territories are okay for me. I can click on create. So these territories will get created into the CRM, and it will also ask you to assign the territories to the respective record. Or if you still want to work on it for some more time, you can simply go ahead and save it as a draft territory. So this is how this automatic territory creation works. This will help you to distribute the territories, distribute the count of records into balanced manner into the number of territories that you want, and you will be able to create territories automatically. Now, apart from this auto territory creation, we also have the option of creating the territories for several regions and drawing manually. So here I can select the option of by region. Now here you can see so many options I have: city, country, state, country, county, etc. So let's say I want to create the territories based on state. Okay, so here I'll just put some states over here, and I can just put the country. Now this will plot the respective states on the map and here I can just select these states, I can multi-select the state, and I can create the territories out of it. Right, so I can right click and create territories. Now apart from this, the next option is by drawing. So here I can also draw a shape out of which I want to create a territory. So this was the drawing tool. Let's say I want to create a territory out of this particular area, or let's say a circle. So I can just draw a shape whatever I want, and I can again select these shapes, and I can multi-select as well, and I can create a territory out of it. So you can notice that a territory can be a combination of regions from by file, by region, as well as by drawing as well. Right. So this is how you can create the territories using the 3 options that I have just explained. Now, once you have created the territories, you also can align those territories. Right. So let me plot some territories that I have already created into the CRM. So here, let me choose some of the territories. So these are the territories that I have already created into the CRM. And now here I can adjust these territories to align them. So what does it mean by adjusting? So here, let's say this territory is too small to be an individual territory, right? So here I can just right click on it and I can select move to. So because it was a move to, I can just select another territory, and if I click on proceed, it will mean that this region will be moved to another territory, and it will be removed from the current territory because it was a move to option, right? And now another option is copy to. If I want this particular region to be a part of another territory as well, I can select another territory, and here if I click on proceed, this will mean that this region will be copied to another territory if I click on proceed. And because it was a copy to option, it will mean that this region will be also a part of the current territory, and it will also get copied to another territory that I select, right? So this is how you can align the territories using the copy to and move to functions. Now here the last option is by overlay. So here you can select a shapefile or the Excel file that contains the census data, right? So here you can select any census file. So here let me select one New York shapefile. So here let's say this is a shapefile that contains the population data. So here I can select the population over here, and here I can click on plot. So here I can just select this data, and this will get plotted on the map. So this is a census data file, and it will plot the population data on the map. So here you can see this category card helps me to read the data on the map, right? So here you can see which of the data contains the highest number of the population and which of the data contains the least number of population. Right. So just by looking at this card, I'll be able to understand the population density into various regions. So here I can just select these regions. In fact, I can just go for the layer menu, and I can see where are my current territories located. Right. So here I can understand where I have already created the territories and where are my target audience. So I can understand where are my target audience, and I can select these regions to create the territories out of it. So I can just select these regions and I can just create a territory out of it. So you can also plot your own census data, for example, the gender or income or ages of groups, whatever you want, and you can compare these data, and you'll be able to create territories, and you can expand your business into the new regions as well. So this was about the territory management, and you'll be able to compare the territories with the census data. You'll be able to expand your territories to the new regions as well. Now let's move on to the next feature that we have on the list, which is the real-time tracking. So while your salespeople are handling the clients that you have assigned using the territory management, and they have been given a optimized schedule using the auto scheduling feature, the managers can also track the location of the salespeople on the field. Right. So here the managers can just come up to the detailed map. They can plot the users on the map, and they will be able to see the two buttons on the map for the location history and the today's plan, right? So before this, the respective salespeople can just can just download this Maplytics app that we have provided. So this map, the app is available on the Play Store or the or the App Store. They can just download it and enter the credentials to log into their CRM details, right? Once they have logged in, it will ask them for the location, and they can also see their locations available on the map over here. This will also ask whether they want to enable the tracking or not. So once they enable this tracking option, this will mean that their current locations, their real-time locations, is starting to be saved into the CRM, right? And there's also an option to switch to the dynamic CRM app as well, right from the Maplytics app. So this is how the sales rep can just use this Maplytics app to enable the tracking. And once they have enabled the tracking, the managers can just plot these users, and they can use the real-time tracking feature to track these locations of the salespeople. So here, if I click on the users push pin, I have these buttons over here. Right, so I can just choose this button for location history. So what is location history? Here you can choose to select the to see the routes that have been traveled into the past for the respective user, right? So I can choose a date, into the past. In fact, I can also choose the time duration as well if I want. So if I click on search here, you'll be able to see the route that was traveled into the past by the salesperson that you have selected, right? So this is how the route that was traveled by the salesperson Sam into the past, right? And you can also see the appointments as well that was handled by the salesperson. So you can click on the appointments and you'll be able to see further details about that particular appointments. So this is the route that was traveled by Sam into the past day. Now, apart from this, we also have the other option into the real-time tracking, which is the today's plan, which means that if I want to track where my salesperson is right now into the real time, I can do that. So here, there's a button for today's plan. If I click on this, this will give you the route that is being traveled by the salesperson. So if in case your salesperson is actually traveling right now into the field, so you'll be able to see this particular user's push pin moving as well into the real time. So this is how the real time tracking works. It will give you the real time location of the salesperson that you are tracking, and this is how you will be able to understand whether your salesperson or people are handling the meetings well, where are they right now, and what are the routes that they have traveled into the past, right? So this is how the managers will be able to keep a track of the activities of the salesperson while they are on the field. Now let's move on to the last feature for the day, which is the detail map control. So here I'll switch for the detail map control, and you can see that this control I have added to this entity of accounts. So this is a PCF control that you can add to any of the entity. So I've added to accounts entity, and here you can notice that this particular view has already been plotted by default on the map. Right. So here you can hover on the push pins, you can further click on the push pins to see further details about the particular records. And here you can further perform so many Maplytics actions right on this map without switching to any other map pages. So for example, if I want the contacts as well to be shown on the map, I can do that. So here, let's see, I'll just choose one of the view of the contacts and I'll click on search. So this will plot both accounts and the contacts both together into the map over here. Right, so this is how I can choose both of the entities together. Now let's say I want to categorize my records based on the, let's say, annual revenue. So I can just do that. So I can select the annual revenue attribute over here and I can click on search. So this will categorize my records of the accounts based on the annual revenue. Right, now let's say, so you can see the push pins are now into different colors and push pin shapes. Right, so now let's say I want to search for by region and by drawing both together into the same map. So I can do that with the latest feature of multi-search layer. So here, what I can do is that I can go for by region option over here. And you can see so many options. Let's say I want to plot some postal code over here. Okay, so I'll just put some postal codes. I'll just put the country over here and I can click on search. So here you will be able to search for the respective postal codes. So here I have plotted the region postal codes based on the accounts and the contact records along with the categorization. Now let's say I also want to search for the by drawing option. So I can do that using the search or new multi-search option. So I can just click on plus sign and now I'm into the new search option, right? So here I can choose the by drawing and I can just draw a shape like this over here. So I can just click on search and this will search for all of the account which belong to this particular drawn shape, right? So here I can see that the records have been plotted on the map within the drawn shape that I have just drawn on the map. So here you can understand that I have plotted the by region option as well as by drawing option both together into the single map. Now let's say I want to plot proximity searches as well into the same map. So I can do that. I can just click on plus And here I'll be getting the new search over here. And let's say I want to search for the proximity within this drawn shape. So I can just put a value of the radii. So here I can just put the radii, and here you will be able to see the respective proximity circles plotted on the map, right? And let's say I want to search for the proximity within this zip code. So I can do that. So here I can just put, let me just go for the new search, and here I'll just put a new search location over here for the current location, and here I'll just put some value, right? Some value for the postal code. Just a second. 3 and let's say 5. Okay, and I'll just put 6, let's say. So if I click on search, this will plot a proximity circle within the zip code. So now you can understand that I have plotted the proximity searches on 2 different locations, and I have also plotted the by region option and by drawing options all together on the same map. So this is possible if you are using the multi-search layer feature within the detail map control. So this is how you will be able to use this multi-search layer feature to plot multiple search layers all together into the single map. And the PCF detail map control will help you to plot so many Maplytics features all together into the same map without switching to any other map pages. So this was all about the live demonstration, and you can just go to the Microsoft App Stores or the Maplytics website or our iNogic website to download the latest solution that we have uploaded, and you can test it out, all of the latest features that we have added with a free trial for 15 days. You can also check what our customers have to say on our Maplytics website, and if you want to schedule a demo, a free demo for your mapping requirements, you can just mail me at crm@inogic.com, and me, Sushma, will be demonstrating all Maplytics features, especially based on your mapping requirements. I hope you liked all of the Maplytics features that I have explained, and I hope you have liked my demonstration. And thank you so much for joining my webinar. Take care. Bye bye.
Sushma, thank you so much. That was a really informative demo and presentation on your solution. We really appreciate you taking the time to do that with us here at MSDW. We did record today's event, and we'll be making that available. And if you did type in a question, you can look forward to a response from someone from their team. So with that, we're going to end it there. Have a great day, everybody.